Cue intro music. We don't have any. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to the Clutch Kick. I am one of your hosts, EG, and I think he's still below me today.
I'm
He's
still below
Greg
you.
Merriman. Hey, our special guest today is Jack Gibbons.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's a white person
I'm just
name.
trying to.
You can't butcher it
I'm
too
just
bad.
trying to. Yeah, I thought it was a bit too easy to say, so that's why I got sort of.
You gotta say it with like a French accent or something.
Is it?
I don't know.
I
Just, just be totally full of shit, pretty much.
Okay, so to begin with, we normally talk about the news.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take ownership on this one to begin with. I totally messed up last week, and High Tech and Drifting SA Summer Series wasn't on last weekend. It's this weekend. Yeah, welcome to life and me being ahead of myself. So, yeah, keep up, keep an eye on those for this weekend. All right, you can keep going now, EG.
So I have one piece of news because I asked about it. So last weekend was the first round of the Rayleigh Drift Series, and unfortunately I don't have a live stream there, but we were able to talk to some of the judges at the event who were able to give us the results. So starting off in Pro, I guess, is our guest for tonight, Jack Gibbons.
How do you butcher it now? You literally said it a minute ago.
Because I know, but I just looked at because I copied and pasted the results, and it says Gibbo on there, not Gibbons.
Yeah, that's a nickname.
Gibbo. So Jack Gibbo was first, followed by Peter Ridley, and Barry Clark is as strong as always, it seems, and coming in third.
Did you knock Barry out, or was he on the other side of the tree?
No, he was on the other side.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, I didn't have the pleasure.
In amateur class was Riley Sutton. Oh no, actually, I'm missing the first part of this.
He sent the name, but I can't remember. Do you know the name of the dude, Jack?
Campbell is his last name.
It was sent somewhere later in that chat.
It was sent in a separate thing. So sorry, but
this journalism is as good as ACA today, mate.
Miss Campbell, I don't know.
Shit.
And Mick Fitzpatrick third place.
Irish for sure.
And so that's the first piece of news. The second is, I think Greg's finally got his car on the way to get.
Well,
fixed.
hopefully it's gone back to the workshop with a rev up motor sitting there, hopefully going back in. So let's wait and see what happens.
So that's especially for Greg to have a running car.
Yeah, well, it might last a week. Then I'll probably fuck some shit up again. Yeah, I guess another news, Shane Beresford's just shared that they're running a cancer charity day out at Luddenham in a couple of weeks' time. I believe it's on the 24th of March, and there's going to be 3 cars out there. I'm not sure what 3 cars. I'm imagining one is Shane's, and there'll be 2 other cars out there drifting. So it'll be the first sort of proper drifting to happen out at Luddenham. Shane's done a handful of laps himself, plus I'm pretty sure the owners have done a handful of laps, but yeah, that should be the first proper drifting to take place, and hopefully they slowly start to ease up and let experienced guys maybe to start with get on there, and then hopefully the sky is the limit eventually with that place. So that's good news that's starting to happen. I already forgot where we're going with most of this. Yeah,
Probably should have written it down.
I guess one of the big ones that sort of blew up Facebook last night was the Adam LZ video from the street drift accident. Made it into the hands of A Current Affair and their amazing journalism, which always ceases to amaze me. It looked almost like a YouTube commentary video where all they did was split up the video and put commentary over the top. So well done to those guys on some quality.
I like how they joined things together
Yeah, well,
just by word association or something like
yeah,
that.
well, I'm really glad that the driver who is now a member of the kamikaze Mexican Hoon cartel, I hope he's doing well with whatever industry that is in. So yeah, good reporting from them. I even know it blew up in the States because Lone Star Drift reposted it to their YouTube channel because all the Americans couldn't get uh, onto the Australian news sites and stuff like that to watch it, and it sort of went pretty viral over there. I don't know if you guys saw it all. Uh, Adam ended up, somebody either sent him a fake email or he made a fake email basically saying your visa's been terminated, you'll never be allowed back in Australia. And then under that it was like, but can you give us the secret on how to get our like 200 kilowatt Ford Falcon to hook up or something like that? And people thought that he was actually banned from the country. So he's like, I think he then posted to Twitter not long after that. No wonder so many people fall for like these Nigerian scams, because it's a few basic people. So yeah, anybody who's like questioning whether or not Adam sort of dogged the boys on that one, all the guys involved in that gave permission for that to go up online. As soon as that happened, and I knew about it before the video came out, I asked if it was actually going to be posted up, and the guys involved were like, yeah, why not? Who cares? So at the end of the day, there's no faces, no names mentioned while any of the driving's taking place. So, and the reality is that people think they're going to get in trouble for it. Well, just look at the kamikaze boys. They continue to post stuff up, but because there's no faces, they can't prove it. So not much can be done. A few guys were whinging last night that it's bad. It's a bad image for drifting, but to me, at the end of the day, any publicity is good publicity for a sport as small as it is. So, and the reality is, the people who love it are just going to go and love it more, and the people who hate it are just going to hate it more. So it really doesn't. You're never going to find a middle ground. The people who don't like it are just never going to like it anyway. So, fuck them. So, pretty much as simple as that. So, yeah, don't get too butthurt internet over that sort of shit. And then I guess the only other big piece of news that's sort of come out in the last week, the team that I shared in the Clutch Kit community group a while ago that I said I was interested in, I believe they compete in Trans Am racing in the States, Napoleon Motorsports, and they had announced a while ago that they were supporting a Pro 2 driver moving into Pro 1 in FD with a full in-house built Camaro, and I say it as Camaro because I lived in the States and that's just how I'm used to saying it, so it's not me trying to be like that. And I thought it was interesting to begin with, the fact that it's, a proper motorsport team transferring over to drift, but it's been announced sort of in the last 2 weeks or so that they're actually going to be running it as a electric car using what is supposed to eventually be a Chevy crate motor. I believe it's called an EL1, and it's supposedly a 700-ish horsepower electric motor. It bolts up to a normal gearbox, automatic or manual, and yeah, Chevy's looking at basically selling it as a crate motor, the same as you can buy a small block, LS, all those sort of options, off their factory floor. And so I think it's actually going to be super interesting to see how that goes. I'm not an electrical engineer, so I don't know a huge detail on it, but I would imagine that the ECU probably tries to make it act a bit more like a petrol powered car. E.g., you probably know more than me on some of that stuff.
I don't know about modern stuff because I only just played with it at school. I'd imagine it would be too different. But I guess it would make the engine drive more like a road car just for drivability. But they've got instant torque as soon as you put power into it. You can change your gain and things like that. This is all assumptions, by the way, because I don't know exactly about that motor.
Yeah.
But I think there'll be no lag pretty much, and it would just be instant power pretty much, as long as they can get the power delivered to the motor.
Yeah, so
I think,
would they have to go in and
yeah,
like fine tune that sort of stuff using, like, I guess, throttle response to how quickly it delivers the power? I would imagine you can tune that in, right, to like how much voltage is actually going to the motor as it sort of builds
how much?
RPMs and stuff like that. I would imagine you can still map
Yeah,
that out, sort of
so
thing.
a motor controller would probably, well, there'll be a controller, and it'd be like kind of like a normal car in the sense that it's, sorry, a modern car where if you know the fly-by-wire system where it doesn't do like an instant response in the throttle, where it would by factory there might be a little bit of lag, and so I think they would tune that sort of gain into it, so then it wouldn't be like 0 to 100 amps or something like that.
Yeah, because it just like you'd be sitting on the line
just,
doing a massive burnout.
yeah. So I'd imagine there'd be fine tuning with that sort of gain, as well as how much torque at what speed, maybe to make it easier to drive.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting if they can, if they will publish and post that information.
I think they'll be. I would imagine they'll be fairly open with it because it's unique and it's interesting, and if they are, because Chev has done, they backed a Camaro and built I think it's like a 7-second drag car already. In October. And so I would imagine that there's a good chance this is probably a little bit Chevy backed as well. So I would imagine they're going to want as much out there, because if they're selling it as a crate motor, they're going to have to give some people some info and some reason to actually go and buy it. But hey, this might be the solution to all my problems.
I think you'll still continue to have problems.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, look, that's one of the big things I'm excited for. A few people have questioned whether or not they're going to have to run sirens and stuff like the electric car that ran Pikes Peak did. But I watched Maximum Driftcast, who spoke to the technical director, and anybody who hasn't watched that, basically, he said that the reason that they're not going to make it run a siren just yet is because when it's on circuit, there's not officials and crowd trying to run across the track like there is at Pikes Peak. So at this stage, they're not looking at doing that. So
but
it's just going to be an absolute bucket
think of the crowd. Yeah, you got to think of the crowd, because sometimes they're there to hear noise.
Yeah, but
like that's part of the atmosphere.
You literally want a drift car coming around a track just being like, as well as then tire screeching.
I never heard the siren. I just imagine it would be like a
car revving,
something a bit more. No, well, kind of like that.
Or I'm pretty sure it was like a police car one or something. Like, yeah.
Oh really? No, I never watched the Pikes Peak one.
Yeah, between a tire noise and that's the greatest way to turn people off drifting instantly. So, yeah. But I don't know if anybody saw that video that I can't remember who put it in the community group, from the Porsche driving around Marulan, and there was just so much tire screeching, and that was just under brakes. Like, the guy wasn't even getting it sideways. Could you imagine just that noise at that track, and just an electric motor with a siren as well? Fuck. Just not a good time. So, yeah, interesting times ahead with all of that. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I don't even know how the batteries and stuff work. It's gonna be interesting to see if they like do 2 runs, pull batteries out, put new ones in, or if that can sort of last a day. Because if it can last a day, I've got to order me one of those motors, and then I don't have to worry about any of that shit again. But I'll probably still break gearboxes or do something retarded. So yeah, I'm going to keep up to date on all that, and sort of each week we'll probably try and keep an eye on it. They haven't been super public, and it's just sort of stuff popping up on Maximum Driftcast and a few other pages that sort of brought it to the forefront that it's all happening. So definitely exciting times. And anybody who's read the FD regs where it says only 2 batteries, it's only 2 batteries for a fossil fuel powered car. Electric cars can run as many batteries as they can fit. So yeah. All right, let's pick on our guest now. So Jack's a good sport because me and EG have been lazy as hell in the last week. We hit up Jack last night. Oh no, we didn't even hit him up. Shit, that's how lazy we
No.
were. We got our mates
Yeah.
who are judging the first round of rally to contact him, and he hit us up straight away. So thanks, Jack, for jumping on short notice. Do you want to give us a little bit of a rundown on your history in drifting and sort of how long you've been around for?
Yeah, sure. So I've always kind of dabbled in drifting since I got my license. I had a Sylvia, a street car kind of thing, and just did the usual, how the industrial estates, and yeah, just with the boys, just mucking around. But I've only started competing last year. That was my first year competing, and yeah, I kind of got to the track and just thought, man, it's just a different world out there. I just realized kind of how bad I was when I got into that, and yeah, that's about it. I just hit it pretty hard last year.
Did you compete in Pro-Am at Rally last year?
Yeah, just amateur last year, and yeah, round one, I think I got third place, and then had a whole bunch of engine dramas the whole year up until the last round, and then I got second place, and yeah, decided to step it up to pro this year, and yeah, that's it.
For you to say that you're pretty shit, the round of rally that I've done, the amateur guys aren't crappy. Like, I went up there and watched dudes in pretty standard BA utes and stuff like that, and we're not talking like XR6 turbo utes, we're talking like just boring old like non-turbo BA utes are all really solid drivers up there. So how many sort of, had you done a couple of years of track driving before that?
Yeah, I did the year before. I did a few Matsuris up there, and I did a couple of Eastern Creek nights just on the peanut track, and yeah, I just kind of got used to that, just the whole track kind of scene before I went in the comp, and yeah, it's just a different world, and I just loved it as soon as I got into it.
So you're from up Newcastle way, right?
Yeah, Newcastle.
But you're not one of the Marvel boys?
No, I'm good mates with Grant Davis.
Yep.
And yeah, Blake as well. So
I don't admit to
I
that.
know all of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Being mates with Grant is okay. Being mates with Blake is not so much.
Yeah.
So what sort of drove you towards heading up and doing the rally comp then, or was it guys like Grant and Blake pushing you?
Yeah, really just watching Grant do it the whole time. Yeah, that kind of pushed me into it a little bit, and then yeah, my good mate Dylan Shearer, he took out amateur last year, the championship at rally, and yeah, he kind of pushed me into going as well. We kind of vibe off each other well and drive a lot together. We did a lot of Matsuris before the comp last year, so yeah, it was just the crowd I was hanging out with kind of got me into it.
Are you alive, EG?
Okay. Yeah, I'm alive. I'm here. Don't worry.
I get in trouble when I don't give you space to talk, mate.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pick where the conversation's going, so I don't sort of dive off into somewhere random.
You can go wherever you like, mate.
So no, I was more interested about your car, like I sort of mentioned earlier, but
that's where you're gonna go straight away, mate.
Well, like that's what I was interested in.
All right, well, you go back to your box.
No, we'll go back. We'll go back to Rayleigh and things like that. But I think you lost over your early life, I think. So you had a Sylvia to begin with.
Yeah, that was just a street car, and I did take it down the peanut a couple of times.
Okay, and then from the Sylvia, you moved on to the 32, or did you go somewhere else?
Yeah, I had. Actually, I butchered the Sylvia. I had a lot of troubles with the SR that was in it. And I was just chasing problems for so long, and then spent a lot of money on it. So then I decided to put a 25 in it, and yeah, I was a little bit younger, and didn't really know what was going on, and just kind of slapped it in, and it worked, but it was barely running. And then I just wasn't really happy with the car, so I swapped that for a 32 four door, which Dylan Shearer actually bought off me. So I was driving the four door around on the street for a little bit, and then yeah, sold that to Dill, and then I got the 32 after that.
Okay, so it's not really a huge range of cars. Did you find the S chassis was not your style of car, or you just sort of the 32 came up and you went, oh, I'll give it a go?
Yeah, I liked the S chassis. But yeah, I just thought, yeah, exactly that. I'll just give the 32 a go. I came up at a good time and just gave it a go. But I didn't end up liking the four door. I just don't really like the look of four doors, to be honest. I like the two doors a bit better. So that's where I ended up with my one.
I think you should take over now, Greg. He doesn't like the four doors, and I've got three of them.
Yeah, but that's because nobody else can get them because you have all of them.
No, there's heaps around. Except for bloody panels, it seems.
Yeah, heaps around. They're, yeah, in your yard, mate.
Yeah. Okay, and then so
It was probably also
did you compete
why.
in the Silvia at all?
No, he's clever.
So-
He would have sold the Sylvia before it devalued too much, and then got a 32 to beat up, and didn't end up being like shit. I could have sold that thing for like 16 grand if I didn't beat the shit out of it.
Yeah, the 32 just came up, and I just clean swapped it. I just wanted to get rid of that Sylvia and just start fresh again, and then did the same thing really. So
It's one of those cars that you kind of over modified, or it just sort of wasn't really your thing after you put the 25 in it.
yeah, it was just a rush job, and there was just I don't even know how it ran on the wiring that I had going on. I don't know how it didn't catch on fire like badly, but yeah, like it ran, and I just swapped it for a stock kind of 32, and yeah, just put that behind me.
Okay. All right. So with your current 32, as I sort of spoke to you a bit before, I asked because it's changed colours a little bit and styles, and then you mentioned that you're a panel beater. Have you? I guess give us a quick rundown of your car, mods wise, because that's what I'm more interested in. Because I found being in an R chassis is quite difficult. It's not impossible, but it's not as sort of easy as being an S chassis to get more lock out of the car, or like be competitive in the sense of some of the competitions and their requirements. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of interested in, is what your car is like now, what you've sort of found, and how you've modified it, or your sort of theory with that sort of mods.
Yeah. So it started off, it was just stock lock, and it just had the 20 in it. It was just completely stock when it was a street car, and I've just kind of, with the steering, I slowly just added things. Like I just started with spacers, and then extended the LCAs, and then went to I modded the knuckles and moved the modded the knuckles, and then got it all bind, and then moved the rack forward, and yeah, that's about it. It just works. Like I've got a fair bit of lock. I wouldn't say it's like massive angle, but it's enough for what I'm doing. So.
Okay, and then did you just guess that sort of lock, or did you have something to mod to jig or guess the amount of material to cut away and reposition the knuckles?
I was really just trial and error at the start kind of thing. Like I'd put spacers in, and then have some issues with clearance, and then I'd ask someone, and they'd be like, "Yeah, just extend the LCA." So I did them, I think the first set was like 25 mil or something, and then I ended up bending one, and I've gone 30 mil now, just a stock lower control arms with a gusset on the bottom, and yeah, after that I just wanted a little bit more, and then Alex just kind of did a bit of research, seeing what everyone's doing, and I actually sent my knuckles up to K's Fab, and they chopped and modified that and sent them back, and yeah, and then once I got them back, yeah, I got a bit of bind on full lock and all that, and then realized I had to move the rack forward, and I've just kind of winged it. I just kind of give a lot of stuff a go myself, and yeah, I don't know, it just works out most of the time. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. What about the rest of the car? So your car is a street car still, or is it a full track car only?
It's a full track car now. It was a street car up until about midway last year when I just went through a defect kind of frenzy. It was just I'd get it cleared and then get defected again, and it was just costing way too much. So then I just decided just to dive into it and just cut it off the street and go full track car. Yeah, and after I did that, I've gone the full cage, and yeah, just kind of got rid of a lot of stuff that I don't really need for the track.
Okay, so you, I guess, gutted the interior a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah,
completely.
basic.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I got a dash in there, but yeah, it's got a full cage, and yeah, standard tank in the back, just a battery in the boot. Yeah, there's not much. Couple of cages in the car, and that's about it.
And then the rest
Okay.
of it, and then yeah, like sort of what sort of, I guess, motor box, rear end, and that sort of stuff, is it all just fairly factory stuff?
Yeah, so when at the start of last year I had the RB20, I started competing, and that was all good, but then I started having the problems. I was chasing for a while. I think I did like 3 events chasing this problem and just fix something, and it only happened when it was hot, like when you were drifting. So I'd take it to an event after fixing something, and then it'd happen again, and I'd just be back to square one. But
what's the problem? Like a cutout or something?
yeah, it's just some weird kind of cut.
Were you running a
on
Haltech?
boost. No, it's just Nistian. I've always been Nistian. So
Okay.
So yeah, after having all these problems, Dylan Shearer is real big on RB25s. He swears by them kind of thing. So he ended up getting in my ear and convincing me to go 25 again. And yeah, so I just got a 25 in it, just forward facing plenum E85 with a GDX 3076 Kinagawa turbo. I've just recently put that on around Christmas. It just went, and yeah, I got it tuned to about 21 psi, and it's about 350 kilowatt it made.
Wow.
But yeah, before that I was just a solid 195 kilowatt just all day. But yeah, it's a big jump, but yeah, it's a bit of fun now.
Is that so 195? Is that what you're competing with last year?
Yeah.
At the end of last year, because 25 went in at the end of last year.
About mid last year, and
Okay.
yeah, the last comp when I came second last year, that was on 195 kilowatt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was at Rayleigh when you say second. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
it means high tech. Just went in and walked.
Very high tech.
Yeah, he just walked in and just like beat the shit out of Prosnik and stuff.
Yeah, nice. I like to hear that.
Yeah. I actually went to Wakefield Park for that drift for real on the last high tech comp last year.
Yep.
Yeah, and had a bit of a drive out there with I drove with Isaac Get out there a lot, and Logan, and yeah, had a good time out there. But that was the kind of point when I realized if I want to do comps like that, I need a little bit more power, just because of the that back section at Wakefield. I just had to do some weird kind of mungy to get around that back corner.
Just straighten up, change gear, and then flick it again.
Yeah, and it was just I was just hammering the car, just clutch kicks and just really driving it hard.
Was
Where
that the first time you'd driven Wakefield before though?
I tried to do it with the 20, but that's when it was having problems. So I could only feed it into the first corner, and then I get halfway around it, and then I'd have the problems. So yeah, I was just doing the first corner all day, which is like fun. That's really all I go there for, just that first corner against the wall. But yeah, so that was the second time I've driven Wakefield.
I guess but I guess the rest of the car, factory fuel tank, no surge, just super
Yeah.
basic. You said it's got a NIS tune, so it's just a factory loom with a
Yeah,
piggyback ECU.
yeah. I think I've still got the RB20 loom with the VCT wired in, and yeah, it's just super basic, super cheap, super basic.
Okay. And then diff, rear cradle, you haven't braced it at all? None of those issues yet?
No, I've just I put a 4.3 diff in it. I think it had a 411.
Okay, they normally come 4.3, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a 411 in it, and yeah, I don't know why I did that. I think.
I know.
Yeah, just coilovers and all the just arms in it, and all stock frame, solid bushes.
I think you're cutting out there, Jack. Is that right? He's cutting out? I'm not cutting out.
Nah, he's back now. He's good.
Oh, he's back. Okay, cool.
Yep.
No, sorry, we missed that. I think you said you had you changed your 4.3 with some coilovers and
yeah, just solid subframe bushes, and
okay.
yeah, that's about it.
You're making these wet dreams because the car's just so basic.
Yeah, but he doesn't like 4 doors, so I don't know. I just might change him a little.
He's just still butthurt by that. Nah, see, he likes his life because at least it doesn't have that weak ass pillar sitting in the middle of the car. Like, at least it goes straight into like proper body.
At least it has a pillar.
Yeah,
it
it is
does.
pretty weak though. Actually, I had to fix Dylan Shearer's car. I think in round 1 he had a big stack in that 4-door, and yeah, that was pretty bad. That took me a while to fix, but yeah, I don't know. It's just
yeah, they're surprisingly soft because I got a wreck once with that'd been parking speed driven into the side of and then push the pillar in, and then and I've just found I could just push against it and it'll actually bend back out again.
Yeah,
the car was a write-off, so I bought it as a wreck and I just parted it out. It had a few other issues as well besides that, so yeah.
So you just admitted that they're shit. Well done, EG.
I have a 2-door as well.
So
for now.
Since you got the 25 in the car, have you basically just driven it every opportunity? I've seen that you did drift school recently, which is I think one of your first trips to doing passenger laps at the dragway.
Yeah, that was the last time I did it. That was the third time I've done it. Yeah, I do that every time I can, really. It's a lot of fun. It's just really good practice, really. Like, all the drivers down there are really solid, and you just get to battle all day. Like, it's not like a Matsuri where you just go willy-nilly and you end up leading like most runs because no one wants you to chase them. You just line up and you battle, and then everyone jumping in the car. It's just really I don't know, it's just fun seeing reactions, I guess. Like, it's just a good day down there.
Yeah, and then I believe you did Paul's birthday bash as well, because Paul, I'm pretty sure it was a couple of months ago. Paul's like, you need to get him on, you need to get him on, you need to get him on. This guy's super good, like, he's up and coming, like, you'll see his name more often. So I heard that event was a really solid event as well, probably similar to Drift School Day where everybody actually wants to tandem.
Yeah, that was good. It was really hot. It was I think it was like 40 degrees that day, like solid all day. But like I've driven rally a lot. at pause I was just really sending it. So I think that kind of set me up a little bit for the comp for round one. Just on that back straight there, just getting that perfected kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think most people realise that the first section of rally really isn't all that hard once you sort of get that first entry up the hill. Because I don't think there's many places in Australia. Yeah, I would say not many. No, I would say nowhere else in Australia really where you enter drift on such a big incline, so the car checks up really quickly on that first entry at rally into that tight hairpin that they run for, I guess, the drift section. I think that's what caught me out most of all the first time, well, the only time I've been up there. You sort of accelerate as hard as you can off the line, and then you sort of flick it in where your brain tells you should flick it in, and then all of a sudden you fall short and you're basically running two wheels over the inside of the corner. And that, they really want people running wide. So, but once you've got that whole first section is nothing. But then coming over the hill, I think people underestimate how much speed and the timing of throwing the car down the hill. And then opposite problem to the first corner where you flick it a little bit too late and you go sailing off into the wilderness.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that first corner, I just kind of aim for the wheel drop kind of thing and just try and lift a wheel for as long as I can. That's the funnest thing to do ever. But yeah, up that black, off that kink, I just try and get as much speed as I can and just hold it as late and just brake as late as I can, and that kind of paid off on the weekend. So.
Had they done any running repairs on the track? Because I heard for halfway hangs the track was pretty shit. Like the surface of the moon.
Yeah, it's a lot better than I've seen it before. I think they might have made it a little bit wider over the top at some stage, maybe, but or I might have just been going wider. But yeah, definitely like. I've had Matt Series before. There's been a few potholes kind of thing in real bad spots, but there's none of that. It was pretty smooth. I didn't have any issues with it.
Because there was talk about resurfacing as well as, I thought a section had been tarred over through the middle to link, it in the middle. Is that because it used to be dirt?
No, that link road's still been there. That link road's always been there.
Yeah, I think it has.
Yeah, I think it's
okay. So they haven't resurfaced it yet.
Dylan Roberts has just said, yeah, it is wider across the top this time. I would imagine that probably went in preparation for. I would imagine World Rally Championship will be probably making a venture back out there, and I think they chop up the track edge pretty bad. So I'd imagine they're trying to open up space for them to not fuck shit up so badly. Bloody drifters. It's definitely the drifters.
Just Dylan saying that the surface has been delayed due to weather, and that's why it hasn't been redone yet. So, yeah, because I know they've been talking about it for a while, and then as well as I thought they were adding a few bits and pieces, but I guess it's already existing parts that they're probably tarring over.
Yeah, no, they don't have much room to play with because they still want to keep. I would imagine they still want to keep rallycross there, so they're going to keep those big dirt sections and stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess the only thing that would be cool if they just sort of, after you come out of over the hill and you hook it left, that they sort of add a little link road a little bit further up, so you don't have to do any mungies or anything to keep tandeming further up, and just sort of add another little hairpin short of what is currently the next hairpin, and that could add probably 2 more corners in that are, without having to do big fat mungies in front of each other or anything like that. So I think that's really the only place you could play a little bit, because the rest of it, I would imagine they want to sort of keep it as is a little bit, not just cater to the drifting, and keep their options open in case the fad dies, you know.
I don't think it's going to die. I'm definitely going to be drifting for the next 10 years, 20 years maybe.
Mate, you got no money, so you ain't doing shit. I guess
I'll take whatever car though. I'll take your car. Commodore.
It's still sitting out the front. I'm still trying to sell that shit, but I've been lazy. I guess run us through your weekend a little bit. So you'd made the decision to step up to pro this year. Was that purely off the back of the good results and then a whole bunch of track time leading in?
Yeah, it's really the bunch of track time leading up to it, and then I spoke to Will Yardley at a drift school day and just spoke to him about it and kind of saw what he reckons about it all and had a chat to Blake about it and just decided I just want to do it. I think a big factor too is not having to do the mungie at the top of the hill. That really sucks. Doing that, I just love just coming up there and you just feed it the whole way and go really fast. So yeah, that's the reason I stepped up to it.
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know the championship, but if you know rally, that long sweeping right-hander over the top of the hill in front of the judges box for the AM class, they run a mungie through there, and I think that's basically to stop guys from just running away in battles and to sort of force a slightly tighter battle. And yeah, if you're experienced enough to actually make it through the dogleg, then yeah, you should be running pro anyway, and being able to hook as much speed over that hill as you possibly can. So what did you end up qualifying on the weekend?
I got first qualifying, so that made it all a bit easier.
So you definitely went down to Hungry Jack's and bought a veggie burger and left it on Blake's on Blake's little stand or on his clipboard for his numbers.
Yeah, I think because I stepped up to pro, I had a lot less pressure kind of on me. I just wanted to have more fun this time. Last year I put a lot of pressure on myself and really wanted to push for results. But yeah, I just kind of went in to have fun and I just drove like I did at Paul's really in qualifying, and I got a little backwards actually off the kink there, and I think Blake and Dylan really love that kind of thing. So
you mean you intentionally got backwards off the kink?
Yeah. I actually sent my mate a message on the start line saying "backy?" and then and then I just sent it off her. I didn't know if I was gonna how it was gonna work out kind of thing, but it just shot me perfect out of the dog leg kind of thing, and yeah, I came away with it. I was pretty stoked after that because last year I was qualifying real bad. I was just taking it way too safe and just wanted not to mess up, and I think that the judges kind of saw that, how safe I was playing it, and yeah, I just went out there on the weekend and really tried to send it, and it paid off.
Yeah, I don't think most people realise from an athlete's point of view that dumbing yourself back that little bit and trying to play conservative is one of the worst things you can actually do, especially if you've built a whole lot of muscle memory to a certain place. So for you, that basically being home for you, the worst thing you could possibly do is try and, yes, you need to be relaxed, but yeah, to dumb it back is probably would have actually ended up costing you a whole lot more. Where if you sort of let the natural flow of things just take hold and go a little bit autopilot, that stuff definitely takes care of itself. So
Sure.
I just think most people have jumped into comp then are like, no, I just got to do a safe run and all this sort of stuff, and it's like a safe run is you sticking to 100%, and then an out of control run is pushing yourself to that 110, 120%. When most people are like, nah, safe run is running at 75, and then the next one I'll go at 100. But I don't think most people realize that that's sort of the wrong way to approach that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then sort of, how many cars were in pro this round?
I think it's about 15-ish. There wasn't a lot.
So you got an automatic run through to top 8?
Yeah, I was just straight in the top 8. I think it was only top 8 and 4 and straight into it. So it was a pretty.
No, don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. Who did you go against in the top 8?
Top 8. I forget his name. It was I think
Because I walked the shit out of him.
I know it was
name's not even worth remembering.
was a red car.
Don't you have a red car?
Yeah.
EG, don't you have a red car?
Fire run. I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably a red 32 four door.
I think it was a Loco custom car.
Oh, yeah. The shiny,
Yeah.
the real like reddy chrome car.
Yeah. I think it might be the same color actually. But yeah, I had him in top 8, and
Is that
I don't know. I don't even know how he chased. I was just up there by myself. I didn't see any footage or anything, and I haven't seen any yet. But I think he chased pretty well. And then when I was chasing, he might have missed a gear into the sweeper. He had a pretty big straighten there, so I just had to hold that together. And yeah, I just finished off the lap, and that was okay. Top
Playing
four,
off school, got this, yeah.
top 4 was really hard though. That was a hard battle.
Okay, who was up again?
That was with Brock in the green 13, I think it is. Yeah, that was yeah. Again, I don't know how he chased, but I pushed really hard on that. I just made sure all my transitions were on point behind him, and I was just on him all the way up the sweeper, and it was just so much fun. I didn't really care what happened after that point, after doing a chase run like that, and I came away with it, which is good. And
Was it all decided in one battle?
sorry, yeah, just
Was
one
it all
battle.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
DCA
Okay.
judges would
You
have
made
seen
it
it 8
sound
times
like-
for their own entertainment.
No, because you made it sound like it was epic. Like it was like, yeah, it was the best battle ever. It was like I only went once.
It was the best one of the weekend. But and then into the final, it actually started raining like pretty hard right before the final, which I haven't really drove that track in the wet before, which is a bit weird. But unfortunately Pete he spun on the second corner, I think, pretty much, and I gapped him after that, and then I just held it together on my chase run. I pushed kind of hard and came away with it. So yeah, I didn't have too many battles, but I only went up with like 8 tires as well, so I was kind of relieved at the same time because I was a little bit worried. If I had to do reruns or anything, I don't think I would have made it through. I would have to start borrowing different tires. So
What do you go? How many laps do you normally go through for a pair?
well, now it's about 5-6 laps maybe on that track.
Jesus.
Like, 4 laps.
What
every
tires?
track.
Are they running street tires?
Street.
I mean,
Yeah, I was
like
running
straight.
Vulcan tires on the weekend. I think they're Zenis or something. Usually I run Zestinos, the 07As. They're Crovers. I get heaps of laps out of them. But my sponsor was out of those tires, so I had to get some of these Vulcan tires. But I only got like 4 laps out of them until they were real bad. I realized this in practice on Saturday morning, and then realized I had not much tires for the weekend, so I didn't drive too much other than the battles.
Are you carrying a whole lot of wheel speed pretty much from start to finish of the track then?
It's really just like I click third at the bottom of the sweeper, and then I'm just kind of flat there. And I think that's where it does the most damage. I'm flat till just about the dog leg, and then locking up the front kind of thing, trying to pull it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, before this power, I'd get like 15 laps out of a set of tires. It was awesome. And then I've upped the power with a new turbo, and like it's fun, but it's bloody expensive. Like,
Yep.
I don't know if it's really worth
Fuel, tires.
it. Yeah.
Do you wear out anything else that I'm not aware of? Because I don't have anything that powerful.
Himself?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wheel.
Yeah.
Bank
That's
account.
about it. Yeah. Yeah. It's just the tires really, and fuel. But yeah, tires are a killer for sure.
You mustn't get many laps at bloody drift school then, probably 2 to 4 laps and you're cooked.
Yeah, so I don't usually take that many tires down there, and then when I run out, they usually help me out with some second handies. But they only last a few laps if that, and they're all mystery tires. So you get out there in first corner, they're just, you don't know what to expect. But I've only got 4 skidders as well. So I've got the ones on the back of the car and then another set of rims. So at drift school, I'm just all day just changing wheels and tires, which is it's a bit of a workout, but I need to get some more wheels.
Blake doesn't drive very often, so just go and steal some skidders out of Blake's place. He probably wouldn't even notice them gone.
Yeah, I reckon.
And I'm sure Grant's got some fuckboy rims for his 13 that you could steal.
Yeah, no, they're too expensive. Too expensive.
Nah, don't worry about it. They're for drifting anyway.
Yeah, Grant can sponsor you for even mentioning him on this.
Yeah.
Do you sim drift at all?
No, not at all. Funnily enough, the first time I've actually ever tried it was just before I jumped on here. I went over to my mate's place for a bit just to kick back, and I did a little bit. I was no good. That's the only stuff I've done.
No, just being attached to those guys, they might be pushing you to try and jump on it.
Yeah, I know Grant does it pretty hard, but no, I've never actually tried it besides the Savo.
Yeah. What's your plan moving forward for the year?
Definitely all the speed flow comps. I'll be there. I'm doing Wakefield next weekend. The Revo Day.
Just be careful of the red 32 4-door.
He doesn't like it, so
yeah. Cause
actually, I'm not going to keep up, am I? Because it's
you'll know the car.
More than double my power, I think.
I'll stay away from the pillars on it.
No, just hit him.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm trying to take the 180 anyway.
Yeah. Have you got a motor that works?
But yeah, I'll be at Wakefield next weekend. I was actually meant to be going to High Tech this weekend. I got the wild card at Paul's thing, but unfortunately I got a wedding this weekend that I can't miss. So Dan came up to me after Paul's thing and tried to give it to me, and I said, "Oh man, I wish you didn't." So he gave it to someone else. So yeah, I go to Wakefield, go on a spawn. Easter.
You'll probably get your entry to Wakefield.
Yeah, that's the plan, hopefully. So and I just saw the DCA things come out, so I'm pretty keen to get down to a few of them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's one thing we forgot at the top of the show, eh? Yeah, I think that's all right. Luke's busy cheating on us on that other thing that seems to show up every second week.
I don't think he's listening to us tonight.
I know, but I'm still just going to talk shit about him anyway. Yeah, I would imagine Queensland dates will be out fairly soon, so that's not a crazy trek for you. And then, Mount Gambier. I would imagine that Grant and Blake are probably going to be keen to head down for that again. So hopefully you tag along for that, because that's a good event. That'll probably be my only comp of the year if it's a comp, like if everybody's part of the comp for just entering. So yeah, definitely keen for that. Any other plans other than that sort of stuff, or just speed flow and then this sort of next couple of month period, and then the rest is sort of whatever happens and whatever your pocket can do?
Yeah, it's really, I just want to do as much as I can, really. So yeah, I'm just open to anything. I just kind of wing it. Like, I finish one event and then look to the next and make it happen. Ideally, I'd love to do every weekend, which I'm trying. Drift school is good for that, just for the odd kind of practice day. But yeah, I just want to do as much as I can. I'm really open to anything. Do as many comps as I can. I love doing comps.
So with your flip from going from doing street lamp inspections, then just sort of your general, well, we could call them...
Gone to Mexico, you mean?
Yeah, we could call them ferry trips to Mexico. I heard there's a... so coming from that sort of background, most of those guys aren't competitive at all, and then sort of only doing the short amount of time into the track stuff before you jumped into the comps. Is it just sort of the adrenaline and the pressure of comp that you're enjoying?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it heaps more fun just being under that pressure, and like it helps competing with all my mates, which I usually do. We get pretty competitive with each other, and there's a lot of shit talk that goes on with it, and yeah, it's just everything really.
Have you been competitive with other things before? Besides, like, doesn't have to be motorsport.
No, not really. Like I rode BMX kind of thing before this, and just as soon as I got my license, it transitioned to this. So
Yeah, there's always seems to be like a big trend from BMX to drifting.
mm,
Yeah, because I get sick of
Yeah.
pedaling.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I'm just too fat and lazy to do anything physical now, so driving's easier, or fixing shit is easier.
That's what you complain about the most, is having to fix shit. I think it's your pit reports that everyone looks forward to.
So are you gonna transition and join Team Marvel, or are you gonna start your own Newcastle area-based team? So you're gonna have the rival to both
It
Marvel
doesn't
and
have to be Newcastle based.
and Just Go Drift.
It could be worldwide.
yeah. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I just want to drift.
All right. So it's now Jack Gibbons, Just Go Marvel.
Just well, you did mention that you've got some friends that are into drifting already. Have you guys sort of entered a team for Spawn at all?
Yeah, last Spawn I went in a team with the Irish guys with Colin.
You poor thing.
With the green S15 and his brother, and they
as long as Michael wasn't there, then you're safe. But I think Michael sold the 34, so
yeah. But yeah, they were running like 265 semi slicks or something, and I was trying to keep up with them. But yeah, I don't know. I'm open to anything really. Yeah, whatever.
Not into that sort of team thing, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, not really.
Okay, that's cool. That's all right. It's
yeah. Do you know why he's not into that? Because he's the panel beater. The whole team will be like, oh yeah, like you're gonna compete. Yeah, like that just creates more work for him.
Good point. Oh yeah, no, that's really cool. I think that's a good idea. Especially, yeah, you should start a team with him, Craig.
It's a
I'm
bit
gonna
far.
start smacking into you.
No,
Yeah.
I'll send my shit down to Cardsy and one of the Cursed Sunday boys. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason they let him be part of the team, is just so he can fix their shit. I'm not sure he listens all that often, but I love you. It's okay. He's the only one keeping their SARS alive in that crew. So, but same sort of deal. He's the panel beater, so he sort of becomes everybody's bitch a little bit. So
yeah, I know the feeling.
Grant's just put in the comments that it's yourself, Dylan and Grant for Spawn in the team drift. So breaking news: Team Marvel and Marvel plus one is that your
Plus
mate Grant?
Gibbo.
Is that your your
Gibbo
mate?
will be like a band. He'll be the front man. He'll be the.
Well, it depends which they've been speaking about two Dylans. So there's Dylan Roberts, who's one of the Marvel guys who judges the series, and then you've got your mate Dylan as well, right? So
yeah, Dylan Shearer. Yeah, we have a shed together, Grant, Dylan, and Morgan, one of the other boys, and we just sort of work on our cars together, kind of thing.
So what color are you painting Grant's car? Are you not allowed to say?
What colour are you painting it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to say. It's pretty secretive about it all.
You can give us the exclusive that Greg always wants.
It's probably got on that
Yeah.
really crappy Marvel pink or whatever that you know that 33 four-door is.
33?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That like the more it flakes off, the more you see some blue crap underneath it. That sort of look.
I think it's going to be pretty basic, the paint on it, and
A bit like the
just lots
driver.
of stickers. Yeah, a bit like the driver.
Yeah, Wanker beat me at Mount Gambier, so we don't talk nicely of him. Somebody's asked, what do you think of Port as a track?
Yeah, I've only driven it once. Yeah, I love it. I haven't. It'll be good with the new surface, but yeah, I don't know. It's just so different to what I've been on. It's just heaps technical and really fun. It has some pretty crazy drop-offs on it last time I drove it and did a bit of damage. My wheel arm was out pretty bad, but yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, hopefully once they resurfaced, I would imagine that they've done some concrete curbing. I don't know if any of the Cursed Boy or any of the guys who went up and drove whatever that event was that was up there already. There was something that happened up there. What was up there? Oh, people on the way back from halfway
Yeah.
house.
From Coffs, yeah.
Yeah. Some of them sort of gave mixed reviews on different grip levels in different sections. So hopefully once there've been some karts on it and some more cars that it's better. But I would imagine sort of, I know the section that you're talking about, it's sort of as you've come through the first couple of corners and there's that long stretch to sort of try and reach in one sweep. On that first half of the track as you're on your way down the hill, yeah, it gets chewed out really bad, and I would imagine they would have concreted that to stop. You know, you'll probably still dirt drop off the back of it and it'll get sort of trenched out, but I would imagine they don't want it cracking the edge of the asphalt after they've dropped a good 6-figure on it. So EG, just stop nodding, mate, and like come up with some chat.
No, that's Port's like completely out of my scope. I don't know. I've never been there, so I'm a bit of a loss.
But you're ordering your Hot Boy wheels and getting ready for bringing it up now, mate.
No, I can't afford wheels.
Just stop and grab Grant's on the way up. Yeah, so I guess, what's your plan long term then? So this year you're looking at maybe doing a round or two of high tech or some DCA, but you're sort of just gonna keep doing what you're doing and just try and make it a sort of take you on an adventure around the country as much as you can, or you're sort of going to do a couple of years hard and then sort of back off on it, or you're not sure yet?
Yeah, I just want to see where it takes me. I'm just giving it everything at the moment. Like I don't have much baggage kind of thing at the moment, so I'm just throwing everything at it and seeing where I end up. Really.
Maybe overseas. Would you consider going overseas to?
Yeah, definitely. There? Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you watched much of the stuff over there? Wherever, like New Zealand, Japan, America, Ireland.
Yeah, like
Russia.
Follow Matty Hill a little bit. Yeah, I watch a lot of him. And yeah, just the American stuff, really. Just
the good stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, I watch a lot of Blake Patterson on YouTube. Blake's a pretty big fan, so. Hey.
Who?
Blake Patterson. I watch a lot of him. You know, just his old videos.
Oh, when he used to drive.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's uploaded anything in a few years. Maybe.
Actually, I got a video of him driving my car on the weekend, so I could put that up.
Yeah.
You guys would be happy with it.
Yeah. Well, was that before or after you won?
Before. That was
fucking rigged. Damn. Rigged. Look, we are joking. People take this shit serious when we say stuff like that, which is fucking tragic. So,
it's all planned beforehand in the script before the event starts, so you can't sort of influence them as the event's going.
Well, yeah, and the judges knew that Jack could only take up enough tyres to get through top 8, top 4, and the finals. So they were like, oh, we better put him in first because there's 16 cars, and if we give him second, because we only want to give him second, but we better bump him up because, yeah, then he'll fall one battle short on tyres. So, doesn't everybody know that's how all this shit works?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all planned. Yeah, they know what's going on.
Well, you'd know as a national level judge, mate.
Shh, that's
why
no
DCA's
comment.
taken like a bunch of time because EG's still trying to write the script, which involves the dates for this season. So that's why it's not out yet.
Have you visited many of the other tracks around Australia by any chance? So,
no, not yet. It's just it's just Eastern Creek. I went on South Circuit ages ago. And Raleigh and Port and Wakefield.
okay,
But yeah,
so fairly local.
Yeah.
Are you considering going interstate to like Winton to like Matsuri or Vic Drift or anything, and then taking on the South Australians at Victoria? Because it seems like the South Australians are the ones that are killing it around Australia at the moment.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just want to get all around. I really want to go up to Archie, do Archie and QR. That looks like a really fun track, Archie. So I'm keen. I might go up there around the same time as Spawn. So
yeah, you normally the best thing to do for a Queensland trip is you try and line it up either with either Matsuri or try and do one of the morning sessions. Don't do the Friday nights because they end up really packed. Most of the drivers are a bit wild and the lighting sucks. Where if you do one of their morning sessions, you only get a few hours. But if you can then, if it's normally it's a Tuesday or a Thursday, you can normally do that and then go and hit Archie in the afternoon and do both in a day. So they end up. I know it's a weekday, which sort of writes off a couple of days of work, but generally that's one of the good ways to hit both of them. Considering Archie generally is only a half day thing for their weekday ones, other than their every second Sunday.
And then make sure you insure your trailer and your shit as well.
Yeah,
the chance it gets stolen.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Angie. Just stick the knife in and twist it, you wanker. Over and over and over.
That's what I'm here for.
And yeah, the trip to Queensland for you is not too bad. Good 8-hour run. You could probably do it in 9 hours with stops. So nice and easy one.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So outside of finishing, so you're gonna try and do this whole season of rally, and then do you think that'll probably be your last one, trying to do a full season of that, and then you'll try and gear up to chase some of the more national stuff?
Yeah, like I said before, I'm just gonna see how this year goes. Really, I just want to drive as much as I can, and at the end of the year, kind of start planning it out from there. But yeah, ideally, that would that sounds good.
I guess with the increased cost, if you do start doing more of the travel, have you sort of thought forward with what your game plan is with trying to make it achievable and continuing to sort of chase those goals and dreams?
Yeah, right now I'm just just working kind of flat out. Just doing a lot of the boys' cars, just cashies and stuff like that, just to make it to events. So I'll just keep doing that. I do a lot of kind of fab work as well. I don't know whether I could scale something like that. But yeah, no, not sure where it's going to take me really.
And I guess, have you sort of thought moving forward about where you'll head? Like, are you looking at sort of more doing high-tech Pro-Am and DCA so that you're on a street tire and your sort of budget is down and reliability sort of sticks around what it is currently? Or are you eventually you're looking at your high techs and stuff like that, where you're spending big money on tires, and wear and tear tends to be a little bit, you know, more hard work on the car.
It'd definitely be Pro-Am and DCA, and yeah, give that a good crack and go from there.
And then what's your dream build? So some sponsors come along. There's your 150k. Build your dream car. Go and attack a season of D1NZ or whatever. What are you building?
Oh man, probably I haven't really thought about this. Probably an S14. Yeah, maybe with a J in it. To be honest.
Yep, stick to turbo.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you driven anything with an LS before?
No, not like drifted. I did have a SS Ute that was a street car for a while, but yeah, I don't know. I just prefer the turbo a little bit more.
Have you driven a 1J, 2J before?
Not drifted.
There's an S15 sitting in Newcastle that you can, or Raymond Terrace, that you can take for a spin anytime you like.
I found, because I used to drive a JZX90, and that felt a bit different to a RB. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I think the power delivery would be good for you, but I can't. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what a 2J with like crazy build would actually be like.
Yeah.
Well, he'll have one day, mate. So you can go drive his. Because this is where it started for him. He's going to get all these sponsorship offers now from all our viewers. And are you working for you? So you said you're a panel beater. Do you own your own? Are you doing your own work, or you're working for a workshop?
And no, just a smash repairer right now, just full time. So.
And it'd be something you'd look at going and doing. Are they flexible for you? So you're able to take time off to go and drive, and they're easy to deal with, or are they sort of, cuts into your holiday leave and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's into holiday leave and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's a real sought after kind of trade at the moment. So, like, I'd happily kind of move up, like relocate up to Brisbane way kind of thing, and just to get amongst all those tracks up there and do that for a few months and go down south or whatever. Yeah, I could get a job kind of anywhere with what I'm doing. So, yeah, like I don't really care where I'm at, so I just take time off whenever, really.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're really easygoing, sort of every aspect of your life.
Yeah, I'm just winging it.
Yeah, and honestly, some of the stuff you say, like, you can tell you have conversations with Grant, because I think that's a bit what like Grant is sometimes, being like, yeah, maybe eventually I'll just move up to Queensland to go drive more, or I'll like do some of that stuff. So definitely from you're Newcastle based, right?
Yeah.
You are Newcastle, yeah. Michael Solomon, who's just moved to Newcastle, he's part of the RAF, was president of Drifting SA, has moved up there, so I think he's looking for friends. But he's a bit old. I know you guys are the younger crew, and Solly's a bit old, but I think he's looking for solid guys to hang out with and do some driving with. So
shoot me a message. All good.
I'm not sure what car Solly brought up. He'll probably message me now. So
Sphero.
Yeah, but no. But
I can't know that Sphero for ages.
No, I know, but I just don't know what cars came up and what cars stayed down in SA and stuff like that. I know he was talking about.
Oh, did he leave one?
I think so. I think one of the Ks was saying.
Okay.
Oh, he's actually looking for some work to be done on his Crown Wagon.
Of course he is. I knew this was a bad idea.
Oh, no, probably should. Jake, get back in your box, mate. His KE70 and his Seffi came with him. As a panel beater, what do you think about metal wide body on drift cars?
Who said that?
One
It
of
wasn't Grant, was it?
Nah, one of EG's teammates.
Oh, yeah, I've actually done that to my car, and I regret it a lot. That was
Really?
that was so much work for a drift car. Yeah, if I did it again, I'll just get over fenders kind of thing and screw them on for sure.
Is that because you blended them in, or is that because you didn't want to screw them on not screw them on, like rivet them on like a fiberglass one?
Oh no, it's when it was around Christmas time kind of thing, and I was going to paint it with the time off work, and yeah, I just didn't have time to order over fenders before I painted it, so I just made my own kind of thing. Actually, I had a 32 shell at the shed. I used kind of the quarters off that and pumped them out a fair bit. It's not heaps, but it's pumped out a little bit. But yeah, like it's cool, but for a drift car, it's a lot of work for something that's so easily damaged kind of thing. So I wouldn't do it again for sure.
Yeah, especially if you're somebody who's willing to tandem and do all that sort of stuff. You're not going and doing, you know, a lot of the hot boy events and that where, you know, and then sitting back and avoiding people. You seem like somebody who loves to sort of bump into the car in front of you, or is happy to have the car behind you bump into you. So,
Yeah,
and I can't imagine they're easy to pull out.
Nope.
Just fill it with bog and just put it over the top.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm sure probably like anybody who works in an industry, you hate working on your own car.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I don't mind doing the mechanical side of it all, but yeah, body, just don't hit me, anyone, please.
Yeah, until you do a full fiberglass rear end or something.
Yeah.
Come on, EG. Come on, EG.
No.
Come on, EG.
No.
I got in trouble last week. You fucking served me for not.
No.
I could count on one hand how many words I've said in this one. I guess so. With the guys you've driven with, who's been your favourite guy to drive with? And you don't have to say Grant. It's okay.
I have to say Grant. Yeah, I've
Really?
definitely learnt the most from Grant driving with him. Yeah,
Because Grant's kind of a new guy as well, kind of.
That's bullshit. When Blake said that stuff, he's like, "Oh yeah, my cousin, he's pretty new to it. He's coming to drive Mount Gambier, blah blah blah," and then he walks the shit out of me, and he's like pretty standard in his pretty standard car and all this sort of crap. And then I go back and look at his history, and he's won rally in AM, and then he's won rally in Pro. He's been around for like 5 or 6 years. Don't give me that shit. He's pretty new, like. Just because they've been hiding in the little valley up there.
Like waves. He would be in the newer waves, because then like before that there was people like Blake and
yeah, because they're old. Grant's like way younger than Buddy, those guys. Yeah,
and then you've got another new set coming through now.
Yeah,
so
let's call them the sub-30s. Yeah, you're in your 30s, mate. I just hit my 30.
Yeah, I know. I think the OGs are like 40 plus at the moment. Yeah. So I guess I'm looking and I'm seeing like it's like this sort of 5 to 7 year sort of wave of groups coming through.
I think that's just the way you look at it, because you don't like talking to them, because you're like, these young fellas got no idea what drifting is. They all think they're FD pros and they're coming in here with their big horsepower and shit.
I don't think I've seen many new people like that.
Not
young ones.
I'm just making you sound old, so.
I am old anyway.
Is there any names you can drop about people you don't like having chase you or have sit in front of you?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Is there people that you would go to an event and be like, ah, shit, they're there. I'm gonna avoid, like, oh, I'm in line with them. Oh, I need to pull over and like lift my bonnet to let some heat out first and let them sort of clear the line before. I'm sure there's a couple of guys like that you've seen.
Yeah,
You
I
don't have
won't
to
drop
name.
any
It's alright. You
names,
don't have to drop
but
names, but
But there are people.
yeah, it's usually the Falcon guys at events that
What?
that are
Nah.
sometimes.
Oh, that's
Just
right. This guy's a Commodore Holden guy, isn't he?
yeah.
Because you mentioned he had that SS before. Yeah.
yeah, I got a turbo XR6 now though as a tow in my tow car, so I've converted.
Okay.
But yeah, they're fun to drive with, but yeah, they're pretty wild. But yeah.
No, they are pretty wild. They've got this really weird sort of movement when they initiate. I don't know
Yeah.
how to describe it, but they kind of like they go into that direction and then they flop a bit more. It could be like a wise flap flop kind of thing where but it's really sort of slight, and you kind of at that moment when I'm behind them, I'm wondering, shit, does that mean like that sort of split second is like, oh, is he going to spin? But no, it's just that the Falcon settling in that spot, and then it has that little small wobble, which is it's a bit unsettling when you're behind them.
Yeah, that's it.
Have you heard of a guy, Steve Pembry? He like every so often comes out with like an EL Falcon. He's a bit of a shit steerer.
Who? I never heard of him.
Nah, it's a chick. You haven't heard of her before? She used to live in Canberra.
I've heard of the name, but I think maybe I don't know.
He's old school. Yeah.
I think he actually did do judging at Rayleigh at one point. Yeah, like
Probably before Jack was born. I'm guessing you're like 25 or something like that, but
Yeah, I'm 25.
oh, there we go. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been when you just got your license, I reckon.
Yeah, 'cause Steve's old cunt.
He's not listening, don't worry.
Yeah, I
He'll
know.
just walk in behind me.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
What are you up to? Like, fuck, we do this show every week, and you're in our group as well.
There's a person in the comments
whatever.
basically saying don't follow me, but I think that person needs to remember that he spun in front of me in the finals of a competition. So, yeah, it wasn't behind me, mate. It was in front. Yeah, George Steve judged Super Drift. He's the first person I called upon to help judge. Silly me. Hence why I won round 2. See, that's how you rig. That's how you rig that shit. Organize a comp and then drive in it. And don't have EG judge it when you drive it. I guess out of the tracks that you've driven, they're all pretty different. So I won't ask you which one's your favorite because I think each serves a totally different purpose. Especially in the range of the ones that you've driven. I would say, yeah, they're all on their own sort of totally own spectrum of what they bring to the table. And yeah, I guess so you haven't done a crazy amount of comps, so I won't ask who your favorite person to have competed against is. And yeah, I would imagine you'd say Brock. And look, I think Brock going from that bloody VU Ute to an S chassis and getting really, really good in the Ute meant when he transitioned over to the S chassis, life's just been easier for him because I would imagine that car is a whole lot less of a handful than what the Ute would have been.
Yeah.
That's right. We have something in common. I beat Brock at high tech, so. But the judges sent me a couple more times, so. Yeah. Any questions, EG? Any questions, people in the comments? EG can't just sit there silent.
No, I've got it.
I guess which track do you want to drive the most that you haven't driven already? Like, where's your other than you've said Archie, but like if any tracks in Australia that you could just be there tomorrow, which one would you pick?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm just gonna stick with Archie on this one.
Have you seen much of the other tracks like Talon,
Nah, I haven't really seen.
Valley? No, you
Nah,
haven't seen anything about Talon.
The new track?
no.
No. Wow,
This guy
that's
clearly
crazy.
doesn't sit on Facebook very much.
I know. Like you're even worse than me, I think. 'Cause I even know about it.
He's busy
Yeah,
earning
I'm
money
too.
to pay for this shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Um, why do you? So with Rayleigh, I know your friends go there, but why do you keep going back? Like, why do you decide to do this a season of Rayleigh instead of like a season of a different competition?
Because there isn't
Um,
anything close.
Yeah, it's
Is it
definitely
just
the
the proximity?
closest.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, and I haven't done that many other tracks. I'm sure once I do another track or comp somewhere, I'll probably fall in love with that and just want to hit that pretty hard as well. So, but yeah, it's just so close. It's so easy. It's a good drive up there. So
Okay.
it's,
So it's just
really,
the proximity.
yeah, it's good up there. You can like how you can camp at the track and all that. It's kind of just a good getaway when you go up with a group and have a few beers and kick back all weekend. It's just good vibes up there.
All right. So it's partly because your mates get to hang out. You get to hang out there with your mates, and it's close, and I guess it's chilled. That competition's not that intense.
Yeah.
And that's what you like about it.
Yeah, pretty much. I kind of wish it had a kind of a live stream or something. That'd be cool.
Yep.
Yeah, like I really want to watch that battle with Brock if anyone's got it out there. But no, it's just pretty chill up there. It's good.
Because you went down to Drift for Real, and you probably would have seen. Did you stay the next day as well, or did you just leave after that?
No, I just legged it home after the day.
Okay.
I watched the live stream.
Okay. Have you seen or been to any of the other ones? Maybe at Eastern Creek, the when they did the peanut there.
No, I've watched like bits of it on YouTube and that, but I haven't watched too much of it.
Okay. So yeah, no, I'm just trying to see if you've been and sort of experienced it, and then there was a difference that you saw, that you had a preference to Rayleigh rather than a different series, because it's good to know like why you chose it, because maybe it could be a different reason besides proximity, like say you liked the way they did things, or the way that they didn't do this thing, but I can understand your reason is like it's chill, and that's all I was trying to sort of get at.
Yeah, well, hopefully if I get that wild card to round 2, I'll be able to tell you after that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, if you're watching.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many fans we have.
Yeah.
Easy talks too much shit about a certain series.
I said nothing last time, and
You're a good boy.
I'm planning not to say anything more in the future.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I guess really is a testament to keeping cars basic. I think sort of people think that somebody like yourself will have come along and won a comp like that, and the car will be more highly strung than it actually is, but it really is showing that the move for a lot of people just to keep it basic and not go the full FD spec crap to begin with is starting to reap rewards. Even EG at the top of the show saying that, trying to get an R chassis competitive and all that sort of stuff, but I think it's a testament to bulk seat time and keeping a car on track. I think Grant sort of proved that with the 33, and there's a lot of other guys around the country now who have fairly standard setups. I think even Dale Campaign, like his setup isn't overly retarded with the RB25 in the S13, and it just shows the reliability and turning lap after lap after lap is what brings these guys straight to the top. I'm sure if I battled against you even in my car before it was pulled to pieces, you'd probably walk the crap out of me when I've got a car that's probably worth, or had a car that's probably worth 4 or 5 times yours, but yet because you've driven a whole lot more than my piece of shit that was always broken, yeah, you'd wipe the floor with me and I'd look like an idiot for spending all that money and still being shit. So I definitely think you're doing things in the right order for where you are at currently, and I think you're keeping it sustainable by doing it. Have you had, I guess, back to the car a little bit, have you had any major issues at all this year?
No, nothing this year. It was only last year, and
since the swap, it's been pretty.
Yeah, since the new motor, it's been all good. The end of last year when I put it in with the stock turbo on it, and I think I did like about 7 events towards the end of the year in the last kind of few months. And before I put the new turbo on, and then put that on, I didn't really know what to expect, and I was a little bit worried when it pushed so much power. But yeah, I was hanging in there. Yeah, there's no issues this year. It's good.
Was it tuned with the stock turbo as well?
Yeah,
at that point?
Yeah, it was just stock turbo with E85.
How much power was that making?
That was 195 with the stock turbo.
Oh, that was the 195.
Yeah,
That's pretty low. Yeah, E85 stock turbo.
And on 25, yeah, that's
That's
SR20 will
pretty
make
low.
that.
Yeah.
Did Blake tune it?
Blake tuned it.
That's why.
Okay. That's...
He had to,
okay. Yeah. All right.
He had to take into account, like, he had to cut your emissions to make sure that you're saving the environment, because too much E85 means there's not enough food for him to eat. Because you eat all his corn, then he's got nothing to eat. So, I get it now. That's okay. So if you were to build, if you were to try and go more power, car a little bit more crazy, would you build another car completely and just try and keep that one so that you've got a car that will turn lap after lap?
Not really. Like, it's hard to say without driving other comps and tracks and all that. But I can't see me, like, I'm so happy with my car at the moment. I don't want to change a thing. Yeah. I just love this setup. It's taken me a while to get there, and I just want to keep it that way and just maintain it.
Did you find 195? Just going back to that one, old engine, old turbo setup. Did you find that wasn't that competitive in pro or whatever class you were in?
No, not at all. That was like, I'd happily compete with that all day.
Okay.
I didn't there wasn't too much difference with the power jump competing, especially up at Coffs. You just bake really hard. When I first got the power, I was definitely going a lot slower around the track. I kind of figured it out with the 195, just how to get so much speed around the track. And when I got the power, then I was banging third, and then just baking real hard and just going a bit slower, I found. But
overall, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I'd happily compete. I was happy with this 195 setup before. I'd go back to that. No worries. It was heaps cheaper.
Okay, so so really, realistically, 200 kilowatt mark would probably be like a happy point with a pro class. Yeah, for sure. And you don't find yourself at disadvantage to the other cars there, because I know there's some pretty nice cars entered in that competition. Yeah, I can only really gauge it off driving with Grant. Like, I could drive with Grant fine with the 200 kilowatt kind of thing, and I can't see much difference. I haven't driven with him with the new turbo and all that, but I don't think there'll be much difference really, besides the smoke and maybe a little bit quicker off the kink there. Okay, cool. That's good. If anyone else is interested in actually entering and they're worried, because I know some people are worried with the pro class. There are some pretty cool looking cars and pretty powerful, and if they're only pushing just over 200, because that seems to be the norm these days, is just over 200 to 250. then they can be competitive, and they can sort of enter that class and still come out with a like they can win the event, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh. Okay. What were you hoping for before? Like, what sort of power level with that setup? Was it actually over 300, or were you sort of saying maybe? No,
I'd be stoked with 250. I kept telling Grant that. I said, yeah, 250 happy.
Separate. It'll have been a separate file.
Yeah. What's going on in Sydney?
That big storm was supposed to hit, and then we only got a touch of it earlier in the day, and it didn't. Alright, let me. I think we should be back up. Yeah, alright, we're back up.
Yeah. We're live.
Yeah, with our huge viewership. Just give it
I think it's mostly our friends that are watching.
No, there's a fair few on there. As many as that other group of bullshit. No.
Are you keeping an eye on them?
Fucking oath.
Okay.
I don't know what I don't know what you're talking about, mate. I have no idea what that is that you've posted in there, Chops. Yeah, we're probably gonna get more people now than we had earlier. Continue talking about whatever the fuck you guys were talking about before it dropped out.
I can't remember where I was going. Oh, it was just about the power and to do with competitions. That's all. So, just actually, I don't even know where my train of thought was at that point. But
welcome to the story of your life, mate.
Yeah, it happens all the time. So, that's all. Yeah, just wondering what your goals were with the car and engine-wise, like power-wise, and for the competition, and what you thought was the sort of standard people should have, or like what you thought the standard would be for you to be competitive at that competition, and that's all I was sort of discussing. I don't know when it dropped out, maybe because yeah. Oh, anyway, that's all.
Sorry, I'm just trying to organize myself here.
Yeah, trying to catch up again.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think we're asking people if they had any questions.
Yeah, if you've got any questions,
the one to
shoot them through.
We don't normally get many, so don't get worried, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
we might get one from.
This guy's giving me shit. Yeah. So sorry, I'm just trying to organize this. I guess what's your timeline for drifting? I guess like the second year you get some woman who wants you to give it up. Is it all gone and out the door, or is it drifting comes first and sort of other aspects of life come second, or?
It's definitely drifting comes first. Yeah, it'll be like that for a long time, I think. So that's where I'm at with it.
And then I guess you said you were considering making a move, all going to plan. I guess what's your decision on that sort of thing? Like, will it just be a case of like, I'm sick of just driving rally and stuff like that, I want a change, or is it just going to be a case of like, yeah, I guess where's your head at with that sort of thing?
Yeah, I was kind of just waiting to see what kind of the comps around Archie were doing, and yeah, I really want to go north and yeah, just do all that.
And going north, is that
Really.
purely a drive thing, or is that like a lifestyle thing as well?
I don't know. I just like change, so
Yeah.
I'll try anything.
Are you
He
originally
does sound a little bit like Grant, doesn't he?
Are you originally from Newcastle? Like always lived in
Yeah,
Newcastle? Okay.
yeah, I always lived
So
here.
you haven't done a big change yet, but sort of.
No, it's stay pretty local. A bit of traveling, but not with drifting or anything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
EG mate, you're not backing me up tonight.
Yeah, sorry.
You're just unsupportive.
So do you have any presence on social media at all? Like, do you have a fan page, YouTube channel, Instagram that you post videos, stories, vlogs?
Yeah, it's
Shit.
mainly Instagram that I push with all my drifting stuff.
Because he's young.
Yeah, I know. And I don't really spend much time on Instagram.
But yeah, actually, I did after I put the 25 in, I did like a shed skid kind of thing. It went pretty viral. I think mainly because I left a nut off an engine mount kind of loose, and then the bonnet was off and the engine was just going nuts and looked like it was going to fall out. And there was like a screamer out the bonnet, and yeah, everyone just loved it. Oh, there was more people bagging me out, I think, but that just made it pop up in more places.
Yeah.
That went viral on Instagram, and then I got a few followers from that, so I just kind of keep it to Instagram and a little bit on Facebook, but mainly Instagram.
Do you know what sort of views you got on that video?
The one on my page, I think I had like 30 or 40,000 views,
So the next
and
one,
then
you need to sell that to a sponsor so that you've got some sort of signage on it. Disconnect
yeah,
both engine mounts and then do the same thing.
yeah. But yeah, heaps of pages shared it. I lost count of how many pages shared it, and they're all big pages kind of thing. And there's just more people giving me shit about getting new engine mounts and telling me my motor's about to blow up. And
But you know,
yeah,
the funniest part is like literally that wouldn't be a bad marketing plan. Would be to do something
yeah,
similar again, loosen up both engine mounts, but just make sure that it's not going to fall out of the car. Do it, sell
yeah,
it to somebody, and just have signage on the car or whatever, and it will get more views than driving in any series in Australia within 12-month period. You'd get more
yeah,
views.
yeah. It works. It's funny. It's like I put up a lot of drifting photos that are like kind of badass photos, and like I'm doing something real cool, and then I get a few likes on them, but I just put up a photo of the car by itself, and it like get triple the amount of likes kind of thing. So I don't know, none of my followers are really into drifting that much. They're just into cool cars, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, or crashes or things
Yeah.
that go wrong.
Yeah,
Anything's like really positive, really negative, it seems to promote. Yeah.
Yeah, do you think Fair Supercars had any more views than, I don't know if you guys followed it over the weekend when the car ended up perfectly sideways in the pit lane after getting hit? Like that shit's blown up V8 Supercars because something like that happens. Or the massive accident on I think Saturday morning or Friday evening, there was a huge accident as well. Like yeah, that stuff just absolutely blows up super quick. Where a good clean race, nobody seems to give a flying shit because, yeah, it's not exciting to the normal punter. So Michael said, just tag Tracy Grimshaw and you should be set. Yeah, hey, like just put a pram with like a fake baby in it beside the car. Maybe a puppy that like isn't real because yeah you don't want to damage its ears, and then do the two loose engine mounts and just get the engine shaking, and then have like the whole community up in arms. Get a whole bunch of millions of views from this shit, and then come out and just have like a behind the scenes video that you release just after all that goes public and be like, wow, you guys eat some shit, don't you? Because it was all a setup.
Yeah.
Watch somebody
Yeah,
come out
so
and do this shit in the next couple of weeks. Solving Drift's money crisis one stunt at a time. I guess anything you want to cover? You told me you were super talkative yesterday, so I meant you, Jack, not EG, because EG's just as talkative as you.
Oh, nah, I'm pretty good.
Anything?
Yes.
Like, you guys are the best.
I
Anything?
know.
Anything else you'd like to cover, EG?
Me? No, I just want to talk to him about his car. Like I said at the start, I was really interested to see the way he put the car together. If he has actually two or three separate cars, because they change colors, and if he's actually gone through like one build to the next build, but really he's just gotten a really cool 32 4-door and he's ditched that and gone to the 2-door, and then worked on that car.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sounds really basic, which is cool. It's easy to do. It's easy to set up as well, I think.
Yeah.
And it'd be easy to maintain as well, as opposed to like all sorts of custom things that people get made, which is, it's not bad. It just means, lots of downtime sometimes if you can't get those bits and pieces. And you could just, a lot of the stuff you could probably, I think, because you said you've modified before, so a lot of people can do it at home. And yeah, and to be competitive, it doesn't have to be crazy. Like, you don't need to throw $100,000 at it. You don't need wise fab. You just need to do the right mods in the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is a testament for keeping it simple. So, hopefully some people have learnt some stuff from you, and I'm sure the more you're around and you sort of upset people who are in, again, like I said earlier about my cars that are worth 3, 4, 5, 6 times the amount of yours, and you're still, still putting it right on them and walking past them, I'm sure there's been a little bit more swing back towards, keeping it basic and cheap, because it's just easier to maintain. I guess we'll start wrapping it up now. So, just a reminder, the dates for DCA have started coming out. So check out DCA's page. Their Super Matsuri with the Cash Kings for Tassie has been announced, plus their Tassie rounds. And then, Mount Gambier and Queensland dates still to come this weekend. Round 2 of Drifting, South Australia Summer Series. The layout's been announced that Jackson spoke about a little bit last week. They're basically running the 8EGP layout, except instead of starting on the front straight and only having that run up, they're starting through the S's. But I don't know if that means they're drifting through the S's, but I have a feeling then I don't think they're drifting through the S's. I think they're sort of I think that's just a good way to get a crap load of speed through the S's at Malala, and then doing that sort of where you avoid the first rumble strip and you go around the outside of what should be the outside rumble strip at Malala. So should definitely be some exciting battles over there for that. And then first round of high tech at Calder. So we'll see how that goes and who shows up and what cars are there and how everybody goes. And then I think that's it for a little while. And then the following weekend, I think there's still some entries open for the Revolution Day at Wakefield. So hopefully I'm not expecting my car to be back up and running by then, but stranger things have happened.
I am.
So I'm not sure the boys will have it back together that quickly. So
I want to leave some marks in your car.
And those boys are getting a visit from a V8 supercar driver tomorrow because they won some Penrite competition, so they're going to be probably not doing that much on my car tomorrow. So they've actually told me to come down to the workshop because they're like, hey, do you know this guy? Like, do you know this driver? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, like, we're getting a free Penrite jacket. That's all we care about. We don't know who the fuck this is. So,
I hope you head down there with your camera and you need to film a vlog as well.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'm still waiting for that tow car vlog.
Nah, I just pay for a tow truck now. It's easier. And we'll see how we go. And if I need a trailer for Wakefield, I'm just gonna go steal one out of Steve's driveway. All right, let's wrap this up here, and thank you, Jack, for coming on. Do you want to quickly give us your
Coming
Instagram
on.
handle before we shut this down?
Yes, at Jack Gibb with 3 B's. So
Jump on and follow him.
All one word, no underscores, no. I think.
He's
yeah,
young. He would
That's it.
have
that's
he would
it.
have told us if it was, mate. He's young. He knows how all that shit works.
Gotta double check. You can't assume.
Um, so he's in the there should be a red 32 on there if you have found the right person. Um,
Yeah.
any sponsors? Anybody you want to thank, or only your own pocket?
Yeah, no, K Racing. That's my main sponsor. He hooks me up with tires, and he's got a 33 as well. I'm using his spare gearbox at the moment, actually, and got a motor off him. So I couldn't do it without him, with Ryan at K Racing. So yeah, and then it's just me.
Working his ass off.
No friends, no family, nuts.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, we'll catch
Cool.
you guys next week. We don't have anything planned at this stage. As we said, we only got Jack last night, so I'm sure we'll be chasing the same thing. Dale Campaign just came on. I don't know if you're still listening, but maybe we'll grab Dale because he will have just had round 2 of drifting essays series. So yeah, we will catch you guys next week.
See you guys.
Yeah.